Hello, is this working? You're now being streamed on YouTube. Hey, everybody. Oh, this is my first. Let me see. Hello, is this working? Okay, first live stream on YouTube. So bear with me, guys. How is everyone doing? This is my first. Let's see. Let me finish testing this out. I'll be back. First live stream on YouTube. So bear with me, guys. Okay, I need to mute myself. All right. To watching. Hey guys. So today is from the 23rd to the 25th, there is a gateway of the heart that's opening right now. So many of you may already feeling this love connection, the feeling of home, connectedness. Maybe the last couple of days, weeks, someone from your past is coming up, maybe a really old karmic connection. So it's all coming up around this time frame. Okay, so what else do I got for you guys? There's quite a bit. The last episode when I was sharing about first, can you hear me? Okay, for watching, can you guys hear me? Okay, so last episode I was sharing with you guys that my shaman mentioned that, hey, you might want to make it down to Mexico pretty soon here. And that's because I told her I sensed my soulmate energy is somewhere in Mexico. And so when she tuned in, right, a shaman is someone who's worked with the spirit realm. They're a very clear vessel. And this is something that all of us can be. The more we work on ourselves and be that clear vessel to tune in the guidance. So the more aligned, the more open channel we are, the more insane the synchronicities and the signs will become. But first, can you guys let me know if you can hear me? If you put a like to let me know that you can hear me, okay? It's my first time live. So, okay. But with that being said, where am I going? Okay. So I shared with my shaman that, hey, there's some kind of soulmate energy. I feel like I need to go to Mexico. So she tuned in and said, yep, you probably need to make it down there pretty soon here. So maybe just a couple of days, it's okay, but you probably need to go down there. And so I thought about it, man, this trip, do I need to bring a set of Moldavite? If I do, it's going to be a couple grand, right? Moldavite has increased in prices. So that's one. There's a fear of all the cartels, Mexico being dangerous. So that also comes up to for me to process. And then I'm like, all right, if I'm meant to go down there, then the universe will show me the way, pave the path. Literally 2 days later, a good friend of mine, she moved to Mexico for a year now. She messaged me like, hey, I'm going back to North Carolina to pick up my car. Texas is on the way. Can I stop by? And so there you go. Now I have a ride to Mexico. Like, you know what? Why don't I just come with you? So again, the money thing is, I was like, God, how am I going to come up with the money for this trip? Because if we're driving from Texas to Mexico, just down to the border, is going to be at least 10 hours. And then we're talking about Mexico all the way down to the Yucatan Peninsula to Chichen Itza, which is going to be there are a couple of days that are 10-hour drives. So the plan is to leave on 8/31 August, so next week. I just found this out a couple of days ago, but all on board. And so here's the thing. This is where I believe the heart activation comes through. So on my birthday, September 3rd, the guidance was to be at Teotihuacan, which is, there's a pyramid of the sun and the moon. Okay. So when we're talking about clear vessels, on the day of your birth is when there's this channel that's opened up all the way to birth. And through birth, it goes directly to the womb and into past lives. Okay. So don't get chills talking about this. I was not planning for Mexico, but now it's here. It's next week. And one, it's on my birthday, it's to be at Teotihuacan, the temple of the pyramid of the sun and the pyramid of the moon. to download whatever energy needs to come through to this Moldavite and also within me on my birthday, right? Back to the birth, back to the source of the womb. And then we're gonna make our way down to Yucatan Peninsula and be at Chichen Itza, which is another pyramid, all the way at the tip of Mexico, down there, right? It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. So we got 2 very sacred sites. The main, so again, when we're talking about these dates, when you talk about number 3, 6, and 9, these are portal dates. These are openings of some kind of energy. If you look into Nikola Tesla's teaching, he talks about vortex math. 3, 6, and 9 is access to other dimensions. So 3, I believe, is the physical world. 9, I believe, is 6, I believe, is the underworld, the earth, and 9, I believe, is the heavens, right? So we got the physical world, man, woman. 6, the underworld, is the divine mother. 9, is the divine father. So all 3 of this number is in alignment for 3, 6, and 9. So notice your dates. Anything divisible by 3, 6, and 9, notice if things start moving for you during those days, or energy is a lot lighter, or if you've been stuck for some time, then one of those dates comes through. Today is actually a day divisible by 3, right? So some movements. You notice these movements coming through days divisible by 3, 6, and 9. So that is the guidance. So September 3rd is to be at the 2 pyramids, divine union of divine mother and divine father, his birth. 9/9 is to be down by Chichen Itza. Some very powerful energies down there. And also, we're talking about the Aztec ruins and the Mayan ruins. You know, I've been sharing with you guys about doomsday and there's apocalyptic energy. If you're working with Moldavite, chances are you're going to go through a death. Either it can be a physical death if you're if it's too much energy and you're not willing to do the work. That's why not everyone gets pulled to Moldavite. And when you are getting pulled to Moldavite, that is a sign or already working on your inner self, right? It's a lot of spiritual work. And so lost my train of thoughts. There's a lot of energy spreaded here, guys. So if you already feel the energy from the screen, it's what it's quite a bit of energy. So just if you're just here to hear the message, there's already energy funneling through. So just receive if you're just here to hang out. And okay, so that was one, right? When we are getting back into alignment, the more cords we cut, the more energy we release, gets us closer to our path, direct connection with source. And during that path, we're talking about inner child. Something happened during childhood that takes us off course, something traumatic. Or maybe it's not even traumatic, but something was imprinted there that maybe you may not be conscious of it, but it's running the show. The inner child is running the show. Okay, so when I got the guidance to go to Chichen Itza, Mexico, I was like, okay, I don't know how to make this work. I don't even have the money to go for a week. So we'll just see how the universe unfolds. And so last episode I was sharing about, hey, I think there's going to be this 8-week program, 8-week session that is going to pull in or at least bring in some money for this trip. And the message got a lot clearer in the last couple of days. We're going to start on 9/11, September 11th, when I come. I'm still going to be in Mexico at that time. I'm heading back on the 12th. So on 9/11 is when we're going to have our first call as a group. So 911 is the emergency call for light workers. So here we have this opening from, it's happening right now. I believe 9/12 is some kind of another big shift. So from 9/11, our first call, I'm going to do a call every Sunday, at 9:11 p.m. Central Time, every Sunday for 8 weeks. And by the end of that 8 weeks, it will be October 30th. That will give you time. As we're clearing every week, we're doing inner child integration. This is the main point of the 8-week. But as we're doing this 8-week together, by the time we finish, you're about a week away from the 1111 portal, which I believe is the twin flame portal, right? The divine union. It's the third eye number. So here's what I managed to piece together as I'm doing all this inner child work. If many of you for those who actually attended the full moon sessions the last 2 months, it's we just started that. It's only been twice, but for those who were in attendance, what we did is we created a safe area gridded with Moldavite, right? So whoever's coming through, they're in the energy of the Moldavites. And each time I have a different grid open, depending on where I activated these sets of Moldavite. So I believe moving forward, we're going to be working a lot with the sacral energy, the inner child. And one, Reiki is great, right? And a lot of these healing modalities is great. But the thing I noticed is if we don't get to the root of the issue or what's running the show, it's like a cancer that keeps repeating. And not only does it repeat in one lifetime, it goes through multiple lifetimes. Okay, so during the full moon sessions, I walk everyone through a regression to the inner child and extract these beliefs, these programming, these trauma that has been lodged within you. And once you extract that, one, right, there's an extraction. Two, you are in a container of a lot of Moldavite energy. You're talking about, and the Moldavite grid that I'll be opening up is a Sedona one, which is activated on 2/22/2022. That is a very sacral energy. So imagine we're extracting this thorn out of your energy field. And when this thorn goes out, all the energy of the Moldavite is going to push out as much as it can in this container, right? For many of you who work with Moldavite, you already sense like it's this uneasy feeling, like something just wants to get out. And if you're not willing to work within, it's going to show up in our reality. Things will shift, people will vibrate out, things will vibrate out. So when we hold a safe container to do this healing, one, we're extracting the root of what happened. Two, Moldavite is going to push out, you can say all the pus, all the blood, all the junk. You can say this from past life, right? It's going to expand you as much as it can. And then we use the Reiki to heal and also connect with our archangels to help heal the wound. Make sense? So this is going to be a very powerful 8-week program. Every Sunday night is the guidance. We start 9/11 at night. So again, 9/11 is a call for light workers. And but yeah, and I've done so much. So this last 2 months, I was like, why am I having such a huge craving for ice cream? Like it's an unhealthy amount of cravings for ice cream. I usually love eating ice cream, but not like, oh my God, I need it every week, every other day or whatever. Since the last 2 months, I've literally been eating so much ice cream. And I thought about it, like, well, my cycle finished. I mean, it shouldn't be that intense, but it's like every single time I just wanted ice cream. And so when I tune in, when we do this inner child work, when I tune into the inner child and you do this healing, the younger me, the inner child, all she wants to do is just eat ice cream and go play. So yeah, for those who are tuning in who have this emotional eating, or you just have such a crave for something or to do something fun, but our older self doesn't allow that, doesn't permit that, then I advise you to look within the inner child, right? The younger child that we tend to neglect, overlook. But when you start healing that inner child,
go back to, we start detaching from the energy of our parents, right? Growing up, we depend on our parents to give us the divine feminine and divine masculine energy. Like we learn from them. But as we go back and we learn, what different programs that we learned during childhood, like, or thoughts, beliefs we have around money, if money is the root of all evil, or don't be selfish, don't spend it on yourself, the program keeps running. Your inner child keeps having these thoughts that keeps running that you may not even catch when we're in our adult life. And so one of the thing that I really got from myself is when I do this inner child work, one of the things that really came up for me was being responsible. So I'm the middle child. I typically take on, you can say, the burden of the family, right? When my parents can't speak English or translate everything, like it's typically me that steps in. So since childhood, I have this belief that, I'm going to take care of everybody, or I need to take care of them because they can't take care of themselves. Okay. 2 things to that. As you already noticed, growing up, that doesn't work. 1, we are draining ourselves. Well, I was draining myself of wanting to do everything, wanting to heal everyone, wanting to be that savior, right? Well, I can save you. I can help you heal this. Like, I can help you. But when I uncollapse that, some people aren't even willing to open up to do this work. So 1, you're giving so much to a person and they're not in the same space as you. They're not able to hear you. They're not even able to receive the energy. Okay. So that is, yes, underlining it is out of love, but know that when this love is given out, not all of it is received. Okay. That's something I got for myself. 2, it's like learning to let go of like being that responsible one for my parents. It's taking on the responsibility. If you have heaviness on your shoulder, it's energy that you've taken on from energy is not even yours. When you're doing this work, it shouldn't feel heavy. And when I got to when I pinpoint like what is the heaviness in my shoulders, it's 1, trying to save everyone, right? Trying to do this work, a lot of times to do stuff for free, which sometimes is being called, other times not appreciated. Other times it's just like people just can't hear you. Okay. And 1 is trying to do everything for everyone. And the root of it is like we do it out of love. And it's I just know that you don't have to drain yourself. 2, there's an enabling energy. If you keep trying to heal someone who's not willing to go to the root of the wound, it's you're only clearing the surface area. And I was watching Seguro where someone mentioned that, this Seguro doesn't believe in Reiki. And I was like, Reiki's great. Like Reiki is good with healing. And so when I actually dug deeper into like, what is his point of view on it, he mentioned that it's good for clear on the surface, but if you keep clear on the surface and they're not willing to look at what the root of the problem is, then that cancer is going to keep growing. It's going to continue growing no matter how much you try to clear, heal on the surface. If you don't get to the root of it, it's you're repeating the work. Make sense? So hi everyone joining in. But it's really, the more I do this work, right? Past life is great. I came across several past life connections, twin flame connection. So here's the thing. When you start doing this deeper inner child work, you'll notice that not only does it heal within the inner child, the divine feminine, divine masculine, right? Your mother and your father, that it also trickles into past life and heal where there was trauma, where there was hurt, where there was pain.
when it comes to relation with divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Maybe with a partner, maybe with someone who's holding that energy, or you're seeking that energy from someone, and when they're not able to provide it for you, then it's a power play. It goes back and forth. It's a very toxic environment to be in if both are feeding off each other's energy. Okay, so this so the last 2 years work with Moldavite, it really brought me to twin flame, soulmate, not soulmate yet, but you know, partnership or past life connections is really powerful. Now, I noticed, and also Moldavite is 15 million years old. So not only that you're working with one lifetime, you're going back to 15 million years on however much that you're able to connect to your stone. So you're talking about ancient connections when you're working Moldavite when it comes to past life. Okay. And I'm very surprised that this next phase of my journey with a lot more Moldavite than prior, it's bringing me back to this inner child work. And as I, as we backtrack, regress back to the inner child, we notice, when we are in the womb, where everyone's seeking for the energy of home. You want to feel at home, and you don't know, there's like a void within us that for me, I wasn't sure, like, I feel like I need to find something, or it's just this finding my purpose. I don't know what it is, but it's just feeling this whole complete unconditional love. Well, when you are in the womb, that is a collective consciousness that you're in, this unconditional love within the womb. You're still going from the spirit world to the physical world, okay? And when we are born, that cord is cut. We started coming into this duality from this collective consciousness within the womb, unconditional love, to now there's a divine masculine, divine feminine, our mom and our dad, right? This is when we become ourselves, our individual. And so in the early stages of life, this is where we seek our energy from. If you look at a picture of a baby, it's very pure and innocent. The energy is just pure light. But as the child grows, you notice some pick up a certain behavior. Some you notice the energy is not as pure as a newborn child, right? And so if growing up our parents divorce, that is there is some kind of story, some kind of trauma that is embedded within the child when they grow up. Or if one of the parents are abusive, then it's growing up, there's going to be fear of whatever energy the parent was holding the space for. So if it's a father holding the divine masculine, then there may be this fear of men, okay? Or even we'll get spanked when we're little. Sometimes that is traumatizing. So it's all about going back to the inner child, working with the inner child. And I notice the more I work with the inner child, the more that when I go into meditation, it's my visions from my third eye are so much more clear. Like I actually see visuals, because this is tapping into our third eye, right? The child me was very creative, she loves drawing, she loves painting, she loves using her imagination. But at one point in time, that was shut out. It was shut down because it didn't make money. It wasn't the path that I'm supposed to go. So that was when, one, you cut off the love within you for a passion for what you want to do. For me, I did. I was like, God, this Asian, right? You got to be lawyer, doctor, whatever it is. It's expectations. So slowly but surely, the heart starts to close. And then we forget about our intuitive side. We forget about our intuitive, the vision side. So that's why when many of you try to meditate, you don't see the visual. Well, I don't see the visual. It's literally until this year that when I meditate, I start seeing. It's like a movie screen. So whenever I have problems or issues of trying to see it in my third eye, I would call in my inner child to say, hey, can you help
paint this picture for me. Right. And I started talking more with my inner child. That ice cream I mentioned to you in the beginning, I would tune in and say, hey, do you want ice cream? And my inner child, yes, now I'm gonna get ice cream. Or a lot of times when we're forced to grow up so fast during childhood, we don't have time or we don't experience these kind of things. So when you notice that it's going to come up a lot when you start reconnect with inner child. And there will be moments where I just like burst out crying. Right? I didn't sign up to be responsible for everyone in the family. It just happened to all land on my shoulders. So that's another heaviness in the shoulders. There's always one in the family takes on the burden of the family. And so I noticed the more inner child work I do, the closer I got to the womb. The womb is when it was literally this week that I was able to, what came through during meditation was to let go of the birth family. Now that was very hard for me because I love my parents to death. And it's just this bond has been created so, it's been so thick that's, I tried over the years to give back parents energy, but it wasn't until this year, 5 years in with Moldavite, that I was like, okay, you're ready to let go of your birth family. And I tune in a couple of times, like, okay, is it okay if I let go of them? Is anything going to happen? Because typically when I do the healing, right, typical me would take on their energy field, try to heal Reiki within me so that it goes back to them. But when I take on their energy field, and same thing when I do healing sessions, I take on the other person's, when you're in the full moon session, last time I took up 24 people's energy field, kid you not, it took me out for like a week to recover. So when a parent, when someone you love, you really want to connect because you feel like you're a clear vessel to process the energy. When you connect, just know it's two different vibrations. Sometimes it can really, for me, it drained me quite a bit. And one, I'm clear on the surface. They are not learning the lesson. I know the lesson for myself, but they do not. So even if I notice they keep repeating the same lesson. I'm like, okay, this is not, I don't think it's working. So be conscious when you are when you love the family and you really want to help them, the best way to help them is to work on yourself and heal yourself and anchor in that light, right? Yeah, absolutely. Moldavite shifts every single year. And the more Moldavite you take on is the more expanded that we're going to become. And so it took about 5 years for me to get to this stage where I'm like, okay, I surrender. Like I got to the point where it's to my birth, to womb, feeling of wholeness. This is entering the heart, where this is where it goes back to when the cord was still connected between the spirit realm and the physical realm. So that's a time when the parent's energy hasn't fully developed. There is not duality. So I surrender. It's like, all right, when you go into these deep regressions, it gets your brainwave to a theta brainwave. This is when you do very deep. These are stuck energies or programmed deep within your consciousness. The theta brainwave is when you are drifting off to sleep and waking up. So that's typically the time that's good for manifesting or setting intentions. So you can train your mind to get to the theta brainwave and then start clearing. So that's the brainwave that I cleared and released my birth family. And it's been interesting because a lot of the energies we take on is not even ours. My shoulders has gotten a lot lighter. One, we do love our family. We do it out of love. And we can also be a guide for them. You don't have to take on all the burden. You're not talking just one burden from a parent. You're talking about generations, lineage, burden that's not even yours. Yes, it's in our blood for us to work through, but it's not your job in this lifetime to take on all the burdens of the family. Okay. So yeah, I just noticed I kind of stepped back from trying to parent my parent And as I do this inner child regression, I actually went back and parent my younger child. So when I tune in, when I do these regressions on myself, you know, I ask the younger me, it's what do I need to do to help you feel better? Right? For you to, because when we clear out this programming, you know, all my younger self was like, can we go play? Can we go for ice cream? And she asked, like, is it okay for me to let go now? That is the part when I burst out crying. It's like, it's not your job. It's okay to let go. And so it's, yeah, talk to your inner child. A lot of responsibility, being selfish, being responsible when we're a child, we take it on, and that younger child is still carrying that burden that is running the show in your current life right now. As you're an adult, if you never go back and heal the inner child, that lesson is going to keep repeating. And so when I went back to this regression, I told my inner child, hey, it's okay to let go. I'll take over now. Meaning this higher consciousness me is stepping in, taking care and letting go, allowing the inner me to enjoy our childhood. And I'm stepping in as a parent for my younger me, the parent that I wish I was or I had growing up through my parents. And I know it's not their fault because they haven't got to this stage of their consciousness. But the best thing for you to do as you're going this inner child work is to heal the inner child within. Use a tool, set an example. You're going to leave a trail for others. I noticed when I stopped trying to, you know, force these teachings or keep telling my family about these teachings, they actually gravitate to different YouTube videos of people who actually speak in Vietnamese who are sharing the same message. And like, okay, I see it. Sometimes you don't have to be the person to help save them. Okay, there's gonna be different vessels, different souls, embodiments that could come through for them to hear the message when they're ready. So work on yourself. And I'll tell you, when we are in alignment with, well, I noticed this year, there's been so much alignment within me that when I get into the pit, things just fall into place, right? Like this Mexico trip, it's when you're, the more I study about Mexico, it's the cenotes or the pathway to the underworld, right? So I believe there's some kind of soul retrieval that I'm going through. And then also the temple of the sun and the temple of the moon is reconnecting the womb energy of divine mother and divine father. So, and it's going to open up the heart. Okay. So yeah, that's the message I got today. There is a gateway opening right now. Today we're smack in the middle. But this is for the heart chakra. So if you really want to step up and really do this inner child work and prepare for the 1111 portal, I call that the twin flame portal because I notice it's divine union of divine mother and divine father, third eye. When you heal the inner child, your third eye is going to be a lot more visually when you go through meditation, right? So that is one. Sign up. I'm going to put it in description. It's going to be an 8-week program. I'm going to start on 9/11 every Sunday night after that for 8 weeks. And that by the end of it, you're going to want a week to work on yourself. Have your body recalibrate every time we do a huge purge, a week to recalibrate, and then go at it again next Sunday. Right? So healing takes time. Energy healing takes time. And when you're paired with a bunch of Moldavite, it's going to be accelerated. Okay, so I'll put the sign up if you want to go to thelightgoddesses.com. I put signups on there. And I feel like there's a handful of you are being called for this. If you feel like this resonates, something you really want to take a deep dive in, you do not need a Moldavite to work with this. I will hold the sacred space. I'll open up Moldavite grids. All you need to do is just to be there and be there as I walk everyone through a regression and as we extract the root of what's running this show. Okay, so that's one. Two. So this trip, it's next week. Don't know how it's gonna happen yet. I know I just need to be there at my birthday and then on the 9/9. So I'm opening all channels for contribution. If you want to contribute, you want to donate, feel free to. I will put the information in the description as well. This will help support me on their journey. And then somehow I need to get an inventory of Moldavite in for this activation. So those are the things I have planned. So I'll just keep everyone updated on what's happening moving forward. And yeah, enjoy the journey. It's go back and listen to your inner child. If you have certain cravings, maybe ice cream, chocolate, comfort food, try tuning into your inner child. It's probably seeking for your attention. Okay, so the more you work on getting back the energy of the parents, the more close you're going to get to the womb space of the collective consciousness inside the womb, unconditional love. And this is when it's time for you to release your birth family is when you know. Okay, so right now I am holding that space for this group coming through. So 8 weeks starting, and then by 11/11 is the end of the 8 weeks. And whatever is going to come through for that activation portal is how much ever you're going to receive through that gateway. But thank you everyone for tuning in, and sending everyone lots of love and light. And I'll see you for the next live. Okay. So hi Nathan. Hi Starseed Child. Hey Paula. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to attend the full moon session, I host it free once every full moon. So the next full moon is on 9/9. So I'm going to be in Mexico. I'm not clear how that's going to look yet, but I should have something updated and letting you guys know within this next week or so if that is still happening. But that is an opportunity for those who want to experience Moldavite's energy. It's a complimentary thing I do every month with to my Reiki friends or I'm going to bring in more guests to bring in certain skill sets to heal. And then the main theme is to do the regression to heal the inner child. Okay. And so that happens once every month, complimentary. For those who experience it or feel like this inner child work is really important, that you really want to choose to do something you feel called and you want to do for yourself, then the 8-week program, you can sign up in my description, thelightgoddesses.com. Other than that, enjoy this heart gateway. It closes tomorrow. And then I'm sending everyone here